What is up, everyone? My name is Ken, also known as Wiltshire, and last year, if you guys can remember, I showed you guys my custom-built PC. In fact, that was my very first custom-built PC that I built by myself. Now, I'm going to show you guys my new updated rig, and I think I've improved a little bit. Hopefully, you guys can throw in some input on how to make my rig a little bit better. I decided to change a lot of parts out, and you guys are about to see that in the video, so let's get started. First off, you notice this computer case is freaking massive. Now, the computer case that I decided to go with was the Corsair 850D. My favorite things about this case is the ability to take off the side panel without a screwdriver and the cable managing system built in the case. As you can see in this shot here, in my opinion, I think I did a very good job of cable managing the cables. As you can see, the cables look very clean and you can't see very many cables in the computer case. First off, I'm going to show you guys a few parts that I did not change. Now, the very first part that I did not change was my power supply. And the power supply that I have is the Ultra X4. Now, I like this power supply because it's fully modular and the cables have a black sheathing around them, which makes it look nice. Now, the only thing I don't like about this power supply is it can be loud at some times when under full load, and I would much prefer a fanless or hybrid power supply. So moving right along, now that we are finished with my power supply, I want to show you guys two things that I've added to my computer via the PCI Express slots. Now, on the bottom, I've added two USB 3.0 ports to my computer because I ran out of USB ports to use because I have 12 devices that are taking up my 12 USB ports, and I needed to add two so I could use my portable hard drives to store some more footage. So I added two there. Above that is my AverMedia Live Gamer HD. Now, this capture card is by far my favorite capture card that I've ever used, and there's only one issue with it, but it's not a very big issue. The issue is that I have to convert the footage after capturing the footage because the program that I use to edit with does not like variable frame rates, and the footage that comes from the Live Gamer HD is variable frame rate. However, if you use Sony Vegas instead of Adobe Premiere Pro, you will not have this issue that I have. So it's not bad, but I'd like to see that fixed if they make an AverMedia Live Gamer HD 2. So the next part that we're going to look at in my computer is the most expensive part in my entire computer, and that would be the graphics card. And the graphics card that I have is the MSI GTX GeForce 780. And I got the 780 before the 780 Ti came out, so don't say to me you should have gotten the 780 Ti because it was not released nor announced when I bought the card, so there's that. However, I'm very happy that I purchased the 780 because I can throw anything at this graphics card and it will take it. I also can render using the Mercury Playback Engine a lot faster than I was able to ever with the 560 Ti's. Next up is the RAM in my motherboard. Now, as you can see, I have two different sets of RAM. Now, the reason for that is that my original Corsair Vengeance RAM died. I have had 4 sticks of Corsair Vengeance RAM die. I am never buying that series again. Now you can see that I have the Corsair Vengeance Pro in there, and I don't seem to have the problem that I did back with the original Vengeance series. With these two sets of RAM, I have a total of 24 gigabytes of RAM in my computer. These sets of RAM are designed to run at 1866 MHz. However, I downclocked it on my motherboard to 1800 MHz because when I was running at 1866 MHz, the old sticks of RAM died, so I have a feeling that I pushed them a little too hard. Moving slightly to the left, you can see the CPU cooler. Now, the CPU cooler that I decided to go with was the Corsair H100i. The H100i is by far superior to the NZXT Havoc 140 that I used to use in my old build. Now, I really like the fact that I can customize the Corsair logo by changing the LED color of it. I can use this by using Corsair Link, and that is why there is a USB cable coming out of the pump and into one of my USB hubs on my motherboard. The fans that are mounted on the bottom of the H100i's radiator are the Corsair Air Series SP120 fans. I decided to go with a Quiet Edition for the Corsair fans instead of the Performance Edition because I was really going after trying to make my computer silent. Now, I've added the Corsair Air Series fans throughout my whole entire computer. As you can see, I have one on the back for exhaust, one on the bottom by my power supply, and one by my hard drive cage. There are two great features about these fans. The first is that the rings on the outside of the fans are interchangeable now. They come with either red, blue, or white. The other great feature about these fans is that Corsair has implemented their own way of absorbing vibration. Now, they have these rubber stoppers on the area where you screw the fans in, and this will avoid vibrations from the fans. Before I move on to showing you guys the cable managing on the other side of my computer, I just wanted to mention that my processor in my computer is the i7-3770K, and my motherboard is the Sabertooth Z77. Now, with that said, I'm now going to turn the computer around and remove the other side panel so you guys can have a look at the cable managing that I did. Now, this computer is really heavy, so it's very hard to turn it around or pick it up. Now, my cable managing this time around for this computer build is a little bit better than the other PC build that I did for my first time. Reason being is that there's a lot more ways to cable manage cables in this case than there was in the NZXT Tempest Evo. Now, I could have snipped off the zip ties, but I didn't really care at the point because I was just kind of tired of routing cables everywhere and whatnot. And here, this is a backplate that can come off for the backplate of the motherboard if you ever need to install a third-party cooler. So I did have to do that. I did have to remove that backplate so I could install the H100i. And that is another useful feature for this case, and it's probably one of the better features in my opinion. So that wraps up about everything back here. So I'm going to put both of these side panels on. I'm going to have a look at the front of my case where the hard drive hot swappable bay is. Now this is another useful feature that comes equipped with the Corsair 850D. Now you have the ability to swap 4 different hard drives in the front if you want to, and if you remove the front plate you can also insert 2 more hard drives. Now I have 120 gig SSD by SanDisk because my OCZ one died, and sadly I had to replace it. I also have 2 other hard drives in this hot swappable bay drive. Both are 1 terabyte hard drives, and they are by Western Digital. I use one for recording footage too, and I use the other one for storing downloads, edits, and everything else. With that said, I think this is going to wrap up my custom computer rig video. Now, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you wish. And if you guys have any comments on how I can improve my rig any further than I already have without spending that much money, then feel free to leave that comment in the comment section below. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys, as always, in the next video. Take care, guys.